Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
Playtime is over. No more games. We're now down to the nitty-gritty. It's now crunch time. Yes, people, it is time for the JPL Playoffs, and this is the quarterfinals leg 1 preview show. Yeah, people, welcome to JPL Fan, and we're back. We're back with some football to finally speak about. It's finally time for the playoffs after like a mini vacation of sorts for everybody involved with the league. You know, the regular season is now done and dusted, and we're now suiting up for the playoffs. Of course, as you know, it is the quarterfinals of first, and it will be a two-legged affair, and it will all go down at Sabina Park starting this Monday, April 22nd. So first up that's playing is at 5 p.m. is between Tivoli and Waterhouse, which is, of course, Tivoli is the 3rd seed, and they will face a Waterhouse that is the 6th seed. Now, it is a very interesting match, as well as it is very tough. In fact, every match up in this playoffs looks tough on paper, and it's very difficult to decide who's going to take home the victory. Tivoli should enter this game with a full squad, fully fit and ready. So expect, the usual 3-4-3 to come out at Waterhouse in this game. And I also expect John Wade to continue with his interesting tactics of having leading scorer Justin Dunn playing more in that withdrawn attacking role right behind Nelson up front. I questioned this tactic when it just brought out in the last part of the season, but it has worked to our charm really. Because what has really been happening is that Nelson has been doing all the running and all the dirty work to basically cause chaos in the opponent's defense, which leads to basically Justin Dunn to sometimes sneak into that 6-yard box or 18-yard box undetected sometime. So I expect more of it to happen here against a Waterhouse team who sometimes can call for possession in midfield and in their defensive third when pressured. Waterhouse, on the other hand, though, will look to try to utilize more of their fullbacks, which they have been doing lately to great effect. Dallas and Brown has been having some stellar games down the stretch, and I expect them to come out in this game high as much as they can to help feed Javier Bryan in the middle of the box. But the key for Waterhouse for this matchup, honestly, is the fitness of Andre Fletcher and the fitness of Mitchell. Mitchell missed the last game of the season, while Fletcher missed the last 2 of the game of the season with an ankle knock. Now, of course, he got not only those 2 games off, but another week of rest. So we are hoping he's back for this game, because he does provide a spark for Waterhouse attack. But they definitely cannot do without Mitchell as well as Fletcher. So I hope Mitchell has got a bit of rest and enough time to come back in this game as well, because they will all needed to feed the main man Javier Bryan, who, while he may not have the most spectacular end to the season, he's still been scoring some goals, and he will be obviously the danger man for Waterhouse up top. Tivoli will have to keep an eye on him, Petticook and his men, but definitely cannot let him free in that 6-yard box or 80-yard box. I feel that he will get back his form and score at will in this one. Big games bring out big players, so I expect Justin Dunn and Javier Bryan to have big games on the opposite side. As for who will win, I will say that for prediction at the end, but let us give you some context in terms of their head-to-head this season. Tivoli actually coming into this match after doing a double over Waterhouse actually. The first game all the way back at the National Stadium in October last year saw Tivoli went out and win 3-0 over Waterhouse. But Waterhouse did start the season slow, but for a better context on how they are this time, Tivoli did beat Waterhouse again in the reverse fixture with a 1-0 win thanks to a goal from Petticook. So well, Waterhouse did give them a better game that time, but they were distorted as usual by Tivoli pressing game. So yes, I expect more of that here for this matchup. In terms of their form, at least Waterhouse is in spectacular form. They had to be really to get into the playoffs. They won their last 4 matches and are unbeaten in the last 5. While Tivoli, it's basically somewhat stumbled a bit. Their last 5 matches saw 3 wins, 1 draw, and then 1 loss. That final loss came in their last game, however, against Montego Bay United in a big crunch pressuring game. So let us see if that affects their mentality coming into this one. What will help both teams is that it's 2 legs. So expect maybe a bit cagey affair to start it out. But I expect Tivoli to go into their usual style of play and try and break up Waterhouse passing game. So let us see how it goes. I'm going to tell you the prediction at the end of the show, so stick around for that. So once more, that is quarterfinal leg 1. Tivoli versus Waterhouse at Sabina Park this Monday at 5 p.m. We're going to move on to the other quarterfinal, and it's Portmore versus Arnett. This is the 4th seed versus the 5th seed, and they honestly have been having some crunch matches this season and see that they couldn't pull away from each other. Another tough match again to call, but just look out how they will line up really. Expect Portmore to come out to their 3-5-2, right, with Alex Marshall getting a big rest in the final game of the season to come back in that 10 role behind Arnett and Siobhan Walsh. Siobhan Walsh came back towards the end of the season after some injury to get some minutes under his legs. So with that and some training and some rest under his belt, he should be coming and ready to go for this game. If you also remember, they scored in that last matchup against Arnett recently, so he should be feeling good for this game coming forward. While Arnett should have their full complements back for this game. I still couldn't get word if Joel Cunningham is back from United States, but they still have a decent defensive partnership back there, and also they should have all their attackers ready to go. In the last 2 to 3 matches of the season, David Gilbert was actually playing Tarbar Karim Dixon as the number 9 and having flanked by a variety of wingers, with Fabian Reed resting on the bench. And I would be dumbstruck if he went out again for that one in the game against Portmore. I don't expect it to happen, but it's clearly a plan B he has up his belt if he needs to use it. I expect Karim to switch back to the wing and Fabian Reed to start back. I should expect Shepherd and Jaheim Thomas to run the midfield for him as well. Pretty standard. This match will be the classic case of good defense versus good attack, as Portmore are one of the better defense in the league and normally very pragmatic in their shape and style, and might concede possession to Arnett and invite them to come at the attack. Arnett normally have an issue of balancing defense and attack. Normally when they do keep clean sheets, they don't score much goals, and normally when they score a lot of goals, they sometimes give a lot in return. So it'll be interesting to see how Gilbert try to focus his men here for this one. So I'm expecting a good match for this one. If you look at the head-to-head what happened this season, Portmore were at home at Furniture Park on New Year's Eve. They blanked Arnett 2-0, which was basically an easy victory for them. And then in the return fixture that happened not that long ago on March 31st, Portmore really surprised Arnett in the first half by pressing them and coming at them, which really threw Arnett off them game. And it took until the second half before Gilbert and Arnett could recover and regroup, and they got back and finally found a goal by Thompson to basically draw out a 1-1 draw. You might can expect the same thing to happen for this match. Portmore might start the game very strongly to try to throw Arnett off them game and hopefully get an early goal. And if they manage to get an early goal, expect them to sit back and wait on the counter and try to throw Arnett off them game once more. But anyway, I will tell you again what I think will happen in the prediction at the end of the show. So again, that's his Portmore versus Arnett Guns quarterfinal leg 1, 7:30 p.m. at Sabina Park. Yeah, so that brings us to prediction now. Only 2 games to predict, of course. Very tough to call for anybody. Let's look for the first one. Tivoli versus Waterhouse. Waterhouse are by far the better form, but they have to be ready to get into the playoffs, and that might bode well for them because they basically were in do-or-die situation all last 5 weeks, and they managed to pull through. I've been cursing Waterhouse all season that I just hope they could be consistent because they're a good team, and they finally did it towards the end of the stretch. While Tivoli, they didn't have just as good of results, but when they're unsung, they will score and score rapid. They are the league best scorers, so don't expect them to falter here. Anyway, as for the score prediction, I predict Tivoli edging out the first leg 2-1 over Waterhouse. I expect Tivoli pressing game to distort Waterhouse like he did early in the season, but Waterhouse will also depend heavily if Adrian Fletcher is back and healthy and at his best, as well as Mitchell. Those are remain to be seen. So I will again say, Tivoli winning this one 2-1. As for the second game, Arnett versus Portmore, Portmore might really come out strong just to try to get the early goal. Portmore are normally a good team no matter where they are, while Arnett are normally much better at Anthony Spalding Complex, not necessarily at a neutral site. Arnett don't have the firepower, but it's going to be a tough game. I feel Portmore is going to edge this one as well, 1-0 in the first leg. Yeah, so that's a prediction. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I can't wait. The playoffs are finally here, and it's going to be a good watch as a doubleheader on TV this Monday. So guys, let me know who you think will come out on top in the 2 matches in leg 1. Let me know in the comment section below. But for now, that is the leg 1 previews. Again, thanks for watching. I am JPL Fan, and if you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share as we look to keep this going to the end of the season. As for enthusiast and the Jamaica Premier League, you're already at the right place. JPL Fan. YouTube, big up on yourself and enjoy the games this weekend.